Hello, aerial friends. Welcome back to my channel. So I've been sitting here this morning thinking about what I wanted to film for you guys today, what I wanted to make a tutorial of, and what I wanted to work on myself. And I kind of started thinking about my staple moves. There's certain moves that I use over and over and over again in lots and lots of different choreographies and routines. And one of my favorites is a beauty roll. You guys seem to be really into beauty rolls as well when I teach private lessons. That's something that's one of the most requested things that people want to work on. So I was thinking about different variations on a beauty roll, and then I decided that I wanted to do this little half beauty roll option. It's quite fun. It's quite simple. I think you're going to enjoy it. So I'm going to head downstairs and get on the hoop and show you guys what it is. So today we're working on this half beauty roll. It starts from a cradle, and the really fun thing about this half beauty roll is that you can do it in a chain. In other words, every time you do it, you're switching sides, but you're ending up back where you started. So you can do your right side and then your left side and then your right side and then your left side. And of course, like the standard beauty roll, you can also do the variation where you're doing it into an Amazon. I'll show you how to do both, and I'll give you some pro tips for both of these variations, but they're both quite fun. This move has a lot of little important details, so let's start off with some pro tips. Okay, pro tips. Pro tip number one is when you place your hand on the top of the hoop, make sure to leave a little bit of space for your head. You're going to have to squish your head out between the hoop and your arm. So if your arm is too close to the hoop, it's going to be problematic. My second pro tip is that when you reach through between your body and the hoop with your free arm to do that little twist going into the roll, use the back of your hand to push the hoop away from you. That's going to help you rotate and get back into your cradle. My third pro tip is that as your hips are passing through the center of the hoop, you want to straighten that leg that's on the hoop and then use it to push down to bring your hips over and through the center of the hoop. This is going to help keep the weight on your leg instead of on a certain sensitive area, which is going to make the whole thing a lot less painful. And my final pro tip is that you want to keep all of your movements during this whole thing even and measured. What do I mean by that? I mean that you don't want to clunk down as you're doing this roll. There's a few moments where it's easy to just kind of drop into the next position, especially at the end where you're going into the cradle. It's easy just to let your body weight drop down and make it look bumpy and uncontrolled. And you don't want to do that. You want to really control all of your muscles and try to make it look smooth, even, and controlled. This is especially important if you're doing a series of these half beauty rolls because you want the series to look like a beautiful, long, unbroken line of movement and not clunky. Okay, now you've got some pro tips to think about. Let's break it down. So like I said before, we're going to be starting from cradle. You're going to start and end each of these half beauty rolls in the cradle position with one leg hooked on and the opposite shoulder in front of the hoop so you can rest nice and locked in that cradle position. I'm going to take the arm of the shoulder that is on the hoop. So in this case, I'm using my right arm because I've got my right shoulder touching the hoop and I'm doing my right side roll. I'm going to reach up through the hoop and grab it from the back. This is a flamenco hand position. It's basically just twisting your arm halfway around to be able to grab the hoop from the back. I'm also going to grab sort of close to the span set, although not right next to it, and remembering to leave space for my head to pass through between my arm and the hoop. Once I've slid my head out between my arm and the hoop, I'm leaning back with my shoulders, leaving a little space between my body and the hoop so that I can take my free arm and pass it between my body and the side of the hoop. The hoop should still be hooked by my opposite knee. As that arm passes through, I'm turning my shoulders slightly to face it. I'm straightening the arm and I'm using the back of my arm to push the hoop away from me. I'm pulling up with my top arm slightly, straightening my leg and passing my body through that space, following my free arm as it passes around. From here, I should naturally end back up in that cradle position. And here's my favorite part about these rolls is that I'm ready to start the other side. I'm ready to do a left side one because I've got my left shoulder now on the hoop. I can lift up my left arm, which is now my free arm, and start the roll again from there without having to make any adjustment at all. It's really neat how you can link these up. So once again, I'm reaching up, I'm grabbing the hoop at the top with that reverse flamenco grip, and I'm squeezing my head out, leaning my shoulders back, passing my arm through, pushing on the hoop with the back of that arm so I can get my shoulder around and get it hooked onto the hoop as my hips come through the center and over to the other side. I know there's a lot of things happening here, but once you've done it a few times, it'll start to make sense in your brain more. It's one of those muscle memory coordination type things that you just kind of have to train your body how to do several things at once. Now let's look at the version going into an Amazon at the end. This is a really fun variation, and it's a nice little punctuation to add on to the end of a series of these rolls. So we're going to just start in exactly the same way. You're going to lift up your arm of the shoulder that is touching the hoop and take that reverse grip. Slide your head out. I caught my ear a little bit there. That's why I'm grimacing. Be careful not to catch your ears on the hoop as you're doing this one. And I'm using that arm to push away, do my rotation. Here's the part where things change a little. You can see my back foot there that is coming up through the hoop. That's what's going to help me bring myself into Amazon. In a normal roll like this, you leave it below the hoop, but now I'm bringing it up high and passing my foot through the center of the hoop. As my foot and hips come through the hoop, I'm sneaking my free arm down to take the bottom of the hoop and come into my Amazon. This version can be a little tricky because it's a little weird to get your foot up high enough to pass through the center of the hoop, but just keep trying to lift your toes up, up, up and get that foot through the hoop, and then you'll be good. And from the Amazon, I'm doing a few little walks with my legs. I always like to do a little flourish of some kind in an Amazon. And then I can come out of it any way I want. I could continue with other choreography from Amazon, or I can just lift up my outside leg and rehook it on the hoop. I could even go back into more rolls from here if I wanted to, because I'm back in that cradle position where I started the roll in the first place. So here's a little recap of what all of this should look like in real time. Like I said before, the most important thing is to keep control of your body and to do things nice and evenly without plunking down or dropping down your weight at any point, looking like a loss of control. You want to keep that control really obvious the whole time. And also, like I said, with the Amazon version, the most important thing is to lift up those back toes, get them through the hoop, and then go back into your Amazon. Congratulations, you did it. I hope that you found this video helpful and enjoyed doing this half beauty roll. And if you have any questions about it, leave a comment, or any thoughts, or you just want to say hi, leave a comment and I will I'm gonna get better about reading comments. Sometimes they get away from me, but I'm gonna get better. I promise. I will. And while you're down there, please do like this video if you enjoyed doing this move or anything else you've seen on this channel. And please remember to subscribe, because that is very, very, very helpful to me with the YouTube algorithm and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, please do take a moment to subscribe. And I think that's it for today. And I will see you guys next time.